CBS News has learned of a new assessment on the U.S.'s strikes of Iran from last month. It finds only one of three nuclear facilities were destroyed. You may recall the U.S. launched several bunker bombs that targeted three Iranian nuclear facilities in June. Well, President Trump had said these strikes had, quote, obliterated Iran's nuclear program, and Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth said the attacks were historically successful. CBS News senior national security correspondent Charlie D'Agata joins us now with more on that. Charlie, thank you for joining us. What more do we know about this American assessment of the strikes on Iran's nuclear facilities?
Yeah, so Tariko, what we learned is based on two U.S. officials, one who has seen the assessment, another one who has been briefed on the contents, that Fordo facility was potentially destroyed. The other two sites are less damaged. We have been cautioned, as we have been cautioned all along, that these assessments are still ongoing. But what's notable about that Fordo facility, it's really considered the crown jewel of Iran's nuclear ambitions. It was the most developed, the best protected, deep underground a mountain ridge. And it's for that reason it was the main focus of that U.S. bombing campaign. 12 of the 14 Buster bunking bombs, those massive ordnance penetrators, were dropped there. Another 24 on Natanz. 24 Tomahawk cruise missiles fired at a third facility, Isfahan. Now, these are very powerful weapons with huge destructive power, but they're not designed for underground targets. It's been explained to me that when you put together what's called a strike package, it's determined that the strikes at Isfahan didn't necessarily have to take out deep underground facilities. But it does appear, as we've reported, not serious damage done to other areas. Fordo, possibly, question marks over the other two facilities.
And Charlie, Iran is such a large country. Does the U.S. have any intel on whether Iran has any intentions to restart its nuclear program somewhere else and anytime soon?
Exactly. The point is there actually is no intel to suggest otherwise. The question is really the timeline. Now, we were at a briefing here at the Pentagon last week. The DoD reiterated Iran's nuclear program has been set back 2 years. Very specific about that. UN nuclear watchdog, IAEA, suggests probably months. The Iranians say the facilities have been badly damaged. The key question, or one of the key questions, is the whereabouts of this significant supply of highly enriched uranium. It's not weapons grade, but it is highly enriched. So do the Iranians have the will to restart its nuclear program? Almost certainly. Do they have the capacity? That's an open question. But they've refused to engage in any talks with the United States under force, they say. The Iranians insist that they're enriching uranium for peaceful purposes. There is still some wiggle room. There's pressure from the Europeans, who have threatened to enact snapback sanctions if Iran doesn't comply with a deal to limit its nuclear program by the end of the summer. Iranian representatives will meet with negotiators from Britain, France, and Germany on Friday.
All right, Charlie D'Agata following that story for us from the Pentagon. Thank you.